Hey guys, good evening, good evening. Welcome back. Boy Jason on the mic this evening again. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Let's wait for a few minutes to have everyone jump in before we jump on the conversation. Because it's your birthday, Natty. Your birthday is in the month,
Yeah,
right?
like birthdays.
I'm not blurry, right? I'm clear on this camera?
You're good.
Okay. So the birthday month, right?
Yep.
Okay. So is Rihanna, are they married? No, right? No, they're not. It's Rocky and Rihanna, they're not married.
No.
No, right?
No, they're not. Well,
No,
that we
okay.
know.
Not that we know. It'd be nice for him to marry the billionaire, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it'd be cool. That'd be really nice for him to marry the billionaire. So, all right. Hey guys, good evening to everyone. Welcome back to the show. Your boy Jason here on the mic this evening. Wanted to start off this evening by jump on into the conversation that I was having this week, the interview that I was listening to this week as I was talking, to a friend of mine. Can you guys hear me? I'm good, Natty. You can hear me, right? Very clear. Okay, so yeah, this week I was watching the whole the chairman, from the House Select Committee that's overlooking the January 6th event that happened a year ago. I mean, I know it's been a year, so a lot of you guys.
That's in camera.
I'm sorry.
The paper.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So I know it's been a year, but the investigation keep going on, and they're investigating the individual and trying to think about who should be charged. What charges should be filed. And I want to jump on here and talk about it. For a lot of you guys that don't remember this, I don't know how one could not. But January 6th, 2021 seemed like a long time ago, but it was just a year ago, where the mob of about 2,000 plus supporters of the former president went there, thought they could overturn, the defeat as far as the election is concerned. They wanted to go out and disrupt the joint session of Congress, that was assembled at the time to do the count, for the electoral votes. Just formalizing the pre-elected Joe Biden, victory. So basically, they were just going to familiarize what happened, what was already voted on by the people from the different states. So of course, the Capitol complex was locked down. Lawmakers, also was shut down inside. Some and their staff got evacuated. A lot of police officers were assaulted. A lot of properties were also vandalized. And also, they occupied the building for several hours. Now, 5 lost their lives in this case. And when I saw it on the television, I was wondering, it felt like I was in the Middle East because you normally don't see things like this happen in these United States. Now, many were injured. 138 officers were injured. 4 also died. And as within the few months after, obviously, and I figured they took their life because they reneged on their oath of duty, just protect and serve, putting this nation in front of everyone, just basically, they took an oath to protect against the nation, protect the nation against enemies, foreign or domestic, just like the former president did, or every other president before him. Also, the former president incited what they call the January 6th riot, with his false claim. So he also said it was stolen, emboldened, what did he say? Stolen, emboldened radical left Democrats that were trying to steal the election. He demanded that Mike Pence and the Congress reject the victory. And then, of course, he called it the Save America rally. So he repeated his false claim. He did it through Twitter. And if you don't remember, it feels like a long time ago, but it was only 1 year ago. So it was very he also said if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. And look at the surprise. A year later and we still have a country. Just imagine how resilient this nation is. Let me say hello to everyone in the chat, guys, this evening. LaShaw Jones, good evening. How are you? Martella Skeen, hey, how are you? Jurian is in the chat. Hey guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please remember to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. Please remember to support the channel. Some of the riot, back to what I was saying, some of the riot was out there and they were saying, hey, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. It was just an interesting one, just to see something like this happening in the country. And this week, they were talking about the Marine. They were talking about the Marine that was on the video. This just came to light, showing that the Marine was forcing his way into the Congress at the time. Remember, this is an active Marine that this country is supposed to protect the country. He's sworn to serve and protect this nation. And he was there fighting in the middle, trying to get inside the Congress. Now, there's also a text message from Ben Williamson. He was, Mark Meadows, the chief of staff, the ex-chief of staff at the time, that was in the White House. There was a text message from him that was talking about all of this stuff that was going on. So they have some idea what was going on. That's why this evening I'm here asking a question, man, because it rocks with me a little odd. And I'm just wondering, is democracy in peril? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that democracy in peril? Natty, what are your thoughts on that? Democracy, is it in peril or not? You think we have a nation to look forward to? Because the American experiment is what we call it. It's been going now for a cool 240 plus years. And if you guys ever look up the average years that an empire lasts, it normally lasts about 250 years. So you come to, and are we close to the end of ours is the question one would ask, how far are we from the end of ours? Because we start seeing things that we haven't seen in the last 100 years or so. So it's a little bit the crazy of what's going on. Let's see what they're saying. Nati, what do you say? What are your opinion on this one?
I think there's definitely
Good evening, Coach Leslie. How are you? Go ahead.
I was just getting my time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think there's definitely things that are happening right now that I'm worried about and might seem like it's a step backwards instead of forward.
Okay.
So it's definitely something to be looking at right now with the government and just how things are, just how the government is behaving right now, like Congress. And
Martella is saying that there is intimate freezing is happening. Does my video seem like it's freezing back there? Hey guys, how is my video transmitting to you guys? Please let me know. Am I freezing on your end or not? How is my transmission of voice coming through? Just want to make sure that everything is going well as far as this is concerned. Yeah, guys. So that's what my question is this evening for a lot of you guys. Do you feel like democracy is in perils as far as this American experience is concerned, or experiment, should we say? Because I'm not sure if it's an experience until we pass it. So it's an experiment that we've been going through. And when you look at all these empires over the years, the average one lasts about 250 years. So this is why I'm asking, and then what do you guys feel about these guys? Are they really Americans, or are they true Americans that they say they were representing the country by breaking into the people's house? I don't see how that make you a true American. So for me, I say lock them up and throw away the keys. That's my opinion on this one. I say lock them up and throw away the keys, because if they feel, and even this morning I heard, Lindsey Graham saying the same thing, that he's looking at the same way. But when you're breaking into what is considered the people's house as a sacred place, we elect our leaders, and if you feel like you want to go in that house at some point, you can run for office and then go into the house at that point. So that's exactly what I'm thinking as far as, so you guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys think our democracy is in peril? And if it's a big if we call these people, true Americans, if we call them true Americans, what do we call the ones that fought for this nation during the American Revolution War? If we call these people that attacked the Capitol on January 6th true American, what do we call the ones that defended this nation in the War of 1812, when the British came in, tried to take back this nation that was once theirs, and took over the capital at the time, which was Philadelphia? So if we call these people that attacked the Capitol on January 6th Americans, what do we call those that were fighting during the War of 1812? And also, if we call these people American that attack here, what do we call the people that defended against Mexico when the Mexican rebels tried to take back over some of the states on the bottom of this country. So it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. We also have the American Civil Wars from the 1861, where true patriot, that was defending this nation when the nation was separated between the North and the South. And those were true patriots. 50,000 plus people lost their lives. We're not even sure of the exact count. So if we call these people that attacked the January 6th or enter into the building on January 6th, we know, which is an insurrection, as it is called, truly is. What do we call the past, supporters, the past, the founding fathers, the people that built this nation and fought for it? How many blood, sweat, and tears were lost? So what do you guys think? Do you guys feel like democracy is in perils or not? What are your thoughts on this? And who should bear the responsibility for the insurrection that happened on January 6th of last year? See what you guys are saying. Don't tell me, not any opinions on it, and exactly the who's responsible.
I think this is not something to blame to just Trump.
No, we can't blame one person because you can't allow one person to
hold. Like, obviously he had something to do with it, with all his comments, his previous comments, and saying how the election was stolen and all these type of like things he said. But I think it was also like responsibility from other people to inform correctly the nation of what was happening.
Okay.
And it is also responsibility of their citizens to just know how this nation works, and for them to know that they could have not prevented the like Biden from taking the presidency, because that's just not how it works. It's like it's just like a domino effect kind of like things that have been going wrong from a while already.
Okay.
So
the Mexican and the Tejano rebels back in the early 1900s, they fought against this nation. This nation defended it because they wanted to take back Arizona. They wanted to take back also California, Texas, and I think there was New Mexico, exactly. And we fought for this country. And since the beginning of this nation, since the beginning of the American Revolutionary War from 1775, from the start of it until it ended, until we picked up until we get the independence in 1776, to write in the Constitution, 11 years later. So we've been fighting for this nation from the beginning until now. And today we're still fighting for it. And that's why I am wondering, really, what do you guys feel about what happened on January 6th? And, are these true American as they claim? Because I don't believe, they were true American. It's democracy in peril. LaShawn Jones is saying, had a call. What I missed. LaShawn, we're just talking about what happened on January 6th of last year. And exactly, what are your opinion on it? Do you guys feel like democracy is in perils right now? Is democracy falling apart? We're talking about the American experiment, after 240 plus years. What do you guys think about it going forward? That's exactly what I'm asking. I don't see the comments on the are my comments moving? Can you see them? No, right?
No.
Also, guys, what would differently falling apart? She said it's differently falling apart. LaShawn Joe says differently falling apart. Well, it seems like it's falling apart at times, but at times it seems strong. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, actually. Do you have any thoughts on it? You think it's falling apart? What do you think about it after 246 years of this experiment? There has been times where it was stronger.
It's definitely like, with all the political parties, people having strong and very opposite opinions on the matter. It does seem like there's some kind of division right now, and this division between the governments is just not letting things, like there's nothing getting done
Between the House and And the Senate.
Just not between the House and the Senate,
Just
but
the government in itself?
yeah, in general, in like
Okay.
the people also. They're like Americans are so divided right now.
Okay. Okay. All right. And that we can agree with. That we can agree with that this nation is divided. But we have to bring it back together because a house divided cannot stand. Abraham Lincoln once said that famously, that a divided house cannot stand. It will fall apart. So I definitely agree with that as far as that is concerned. And I believe that we have a long way to go. We have work to be done. Um, Guys, I am asking this evening, do you feel like, because as you can see, do you feel like democracy is in perils? Do you feel like it's falling apart? What are your opinion? Do you guys have any opinion on this one? A lot of you guys might not want to say anything, but if you do, I can drop the link in the chat and you guys can jump on in and have a conversation. If you guys know, you don't have to show your face. If you want to just have, answer some questions, give us your opinion. Yeah, but at the same time, you don't have to show your face if you don't feel like you need to. So, like I said, you guys can jump in the chat, and we can have a healthy conversation about exactly what's going on in this nation at the time, as far as what happened on January 6th, a year ago, and the new revelation with the Marine, that they saw breaking in, that he was caught on video that was breaking into the Capitol building, and also what happened with the text message between the former chief of staff aide. So there's a lot to uncover. There's a lot we're still talking about. Who's responsible, who's not responsible. Why did we end up in a situation like this? Is democracy in peril is what I'm asking. The assault on the nation, how is that? Who's responsible for it? Are these true Americans? Like I said, I gave you guys good reasons why I don't believe they're true Americans, because if they were true Americans, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. We can look back in history and see what real true American did, back from the beginning of the nation till now. So it's easy to put together quite a long list of the times that this nation was attacked here, here on the soil, it was attacked here, and how many times we have defended it. So, whether it's enemies, inside homegrown, or just enemies from the outside, but we have defended this nation from the beginning until now. So this is nothing new, but we would like it to stop because it's a great nation. So I wanted to see what you guys think about it. Anyone want to jump in and have a conversation, please feel free to hit that chat, and you can call in and we can talk about it. Let's see, this is, let's see what else. No one, the cracks are certainly showing. TR says the cracks are certainly showing. You can see the cracks, Nati? But you're new to this experience.
And I can see the cracks.
And you can see the cracks, right? So someone in the comments said they can see the cracks. The cracks are certainly showing as far as this nation is concerned. I don't expect this to be a long video, guys, really. It's going to be, as far as this topic is concerned, I wanted to also talk about, mental health a little bit further going forward, as, in relationship to what happened with Chesley Chris, I think her name was. And I wanted to say, rest in peace to her. Rest in peace. My condolences goes out to the family of Ian, which was Regina King's son also, and many others that have gone through, a situation like this where, they lost their lives because of mental health, whatever the pressure was that they couldn't handle or whatever they were going through at the time. One cannot tell, not being in their shoes, not living their life. So, yeah, I wanted to touch base on that also. I wanted to touch base on, as far as the mental health is concerned, to see how you guys feel, about, depression and the difference, when you talk about depressions and, as far as adults go. Because the other day I did a show and we were talking about the devices and the information overload, but information overload seems to be for everyone, not just for kids, but for the adults also. Social media also play a big role. But when you think about today, the kids and the adults, they're different. Where kids have to deal with going to school, dealing with bullying, dealing with obesity, dealing with devices, dealing with someone calling you fat, whatever the case is, so it's something that, it makes your mind unstable. But when you're talking about an adult and how does one feel about it, no one knows what they're going on. Like, no one knows what's going through their life. Like, we're looking at this girl, Chesley, that They said she committed suicide, jumped from the building. Just imagine what, because I looked at her, she was on the show Extra. She was also a Miss USA winner. She was also on and what did you say she was on?
She was a judge in the last Miss Universe.
She was a judge in the last Miss Universe. But when these guys go out and they're pushing their self because they want to be the best, when you're taught from a young age, okay, you're going to be this pageant queen and you're going to be the best at what you do. When you start out with being the best at the top, where do you go from there? There's nowhere to go but down. So it's a lot of pressure. I personally believe there's a lot of pressure consistently from the beginning until now. And I think that's where it is. I think that's, as far as mental health is concerned, because you can easily go back 20, 30 years when the marketplace wasn't as competitive as it is today. Today, we're living in a world where the minute you get out and you start walking, you start going to school, you start competing with everyone else. Because 20, 30, 40 years ago, when you look at the states, you would think of them as country. When you look at the countries, you would think of each one has their small world. But today, it's one united world. So whatever one country do, it affects the other. And whatever the other country do is other. So today we're competing with China, Japan, we're competing with Russia. We're competing with everywhere. So all the continents are competing with one another. And when you think about the pressure that puts on each individual, I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to be thinking about, oh, maybe we should start sending our kids to school 6 days a week. So the competition, make it harder on us as human beings. It puts a lot of pressure on us. So you think about, this way, and you think about how she felt, because just for something like this to happen, in such a way where no one saw it coming, because no one lived in your head, no one know how you feel. So, Nati, what are your opinion on that?
On mental health.
On mental health. What do you think about mental health?
I think everyone struggles with mental health right now.
But everyone has their own way of how to deal with it.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like this is something that everyone's going through. But it's not new, but it's new to be so open about it. So, with the older generations, didn't really pay much mind to it.
Okay.
Didn't really pay much attention
to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think as humans, we also like to ignore the bad things until they become inevitable in some type of way. So, I definitely think that this past behavior towards mental health and the consequences that the struggling with your mental health can bring. We just need to we have a lot to work on with mental health, and not only in children and adults, but in everyone. I think everyone is struggling with it right now, even if they don't want to admit it to themselves, even if they want to say to themselves, even, oh, I'm okay, like I'm not depressed, but in reality they are, or I'm not having anxiety, but in reality they are, just to try to ignore it because they cannot see it.
Okay.
So if you cannot see it, it's easy to pretend it's not there, but it is there.
Years ago, I used to think about the artists, right, when they make their albums. And I always think the artists, the first albums that they drop is always the best one, right? That's just my personal opinion, just like the perfume makers. I think when they drop one, the best one is always the first one because they put so much into it that when you buy it and you try it, you want to buy any future perfume or any future album that came out. X dropped the album, and I remember the first one is still the best one out of all 4 albums that he dropped. But when you put the first and the best, right? When you put the best and the first together, you're basically set a limit, you set a height for yourself, right? And when you can't go any further, you're number 1. You can't go any further but down. You're in school, right? You get an A or an A plus. Where else can you go but down? You have to either maintain that A or A plus or keep going down. So by people sometime they go and said, okay, I'm trying to beat my first album. Okay, how do I make something better? And when they can't make it, in the case of Chesley, and in the case that they can't make it, then they start to the pressure start to fall on. Mentally they're sitting down, they're thinking, they're wondering, how can I be better? How can I push myself to become better? And at the same time, you're already the best at it. You're already at the top. There is not much you can do. But because you start so early being the best, from there going up, you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually the walls start to fall down inside the mind. That's my personal thoughts on it. Because there's some nights that I go to sleep and I think about the next day, and I have to go to work. I'm thinking about the amount of hours that I'm going to sleep, right? So I'm like, okay, right now I only have a room for about 4 hours worth of sleep, and I got to go to work. I have to think about waking up, making breakfast. I have to think about the other stuff that I have to do in the day if I'm going anywhere with the kids. So it's like you're thinking about so many things that must be done. And at the same time, you're thinking about your sleep, and you're only going to get 4 hours, which 8 hours is recommended. So automatically your mind starts to think about this in all different ways. You start to break down the walls. You start to think about, like, wow, what am I going to do? And this pressure pushed some people over the edge because they feel like it's too much. And too much, the mind is so fragile. It's just like a strand of your hair. You just don't know when or what. So you have to be strong. I tell people it's always good to have good friends around. It's always good to get, great help. If you feel anything about, you're not feeling yourself as how you used to feel, it's good to get great help. But some people don't go through that part. Some people, when they realize that they need help, it's already too late. So that's how I see it, actually. That's how I think about it. That's how I see it as it go downhill. Hey guys, have any one of you guys have ever struggled with mental health as far as that is concerned? How did you dealt with? What was the best way? What did you do? Did you go out and talk to someone? Did you go out and get professional help? What exactly was the way that you guys dealt with mental health? So that's my question this evening. Is any one of you guys have ever dealt with mental health? My chats are not here, or just
It's slow.
Hmm?
It's slow.
It's slow. Yeah. So that's guys. So is anyone out there ever struggle with mental health? That's a quick question I have for you guys. So let me know what you guys think. How did you guys deal with it? Let me know what are your thoughts on it. As far as loved ones are concerned, because at some point, someone in each one of our families are going to have to deal with this, whether now or in the future, as the pressure comes on, as we get tough and tougher, as things happen and life get busier, because as you can see these days we don't have enough hours in the day. I feel like we need 30 hours sometimes to make this thing happen. So I think that's where we're going from, where people are suffering more and they don't realize that they're suffering from it, and what exactly is going on with them. So what are your thoughts on it? Let me know. What do you guys think? Tanya Smith says, hello, beautiful family. Hey, Tanya Smith, good evening. How are you? So yes, guys. So just remember, if you guys have not subscribed, please remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. And you guys can also follow me in the on the social media, IG, and also Facebook. Let's see what else they are saying. Oh, nobody else in there. All right, guys. Well, tell you what, I think I got most of what I wanted to talk about this evening out. No one wanted to jump on here and have a quick conversation with me about whether the January 6th event or even the mental health as far as what happened with Chesley, and the unfortunate incident, how she died as far as suicide, apparent suicide is what they're saying. So tell you what, want to thank you guys again for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you guys this evening. Please remember to like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on also Instagram and the social media. Jasontalks 81. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you soon.